If you've been watching for the last couple months or so, you may know that I've been busting out these various small form talking research videos like this one here. It's been a great way to learn and also to make easy content for things that don't force me to be in multiple places at once, and I can do the research mainly on my phone in the morning while I'm making coffee or making breakfast. It's been nice. I've really enjoyed it, and it's been a formula that allows me to make something, in my opinion, that is more watchable than what I would normally produce on days where I'm really limited for time. And I've been making an effort to get more efficient at my sort of research and writing process, and needless to say, I've come across lots of little tidbits that didn't make great long-form videos, but are still interesting, sometimes because it's something that I think people may already kind of know or that I might revisit later. But at this point, I have a few of these little pesky things that have accumulated around on my list of topics to tackle, and I figured I'd clear them all out right here in this video. For a long time, people didn't have last names. For starters, if you were John the baker. If you were a baker. Last names only really became common when populations got big enough that everyone couldn't keep track of each other, so they made last names. People also didn't celebrate birthdays, that at least not in the way that they do now. Most people actually didn't even know the exact day that they were born. They didn't celebrate the birthdays. The birthday was just sort of information, if that. And for centuries, chairs were rare. Most people sat on benches and stools or on the floor. Having a chair, especially one with arms, mine doesn't, was a status symbol. That's why taking the chair meant authority. Before mass-produced soap, cleanliness depended heavily on fabric. Linen, especially, was worn underneath your clothing because it absorbed oils more efficiently and sweat, and people changed linen far more than they washed their bodies. People also didn't drink plain water, not because they didn't want to, but because it was often really unsafe. So beer, cider, watered down wines were common everyday drinks, even for children. Forks were controversial. When they first appeared in Europe, people thought they were unnecessary or pretentious or sometimes even sinful, because using a fork instead of your hands was seen as rejecting God's design. Doors used to open inward for a reason, they used to open inward, but after some fire codes, because people collapsed in front of the door and you couldn't get in, now it's fire code that they must open out. People used to write letters knowing that they would never get a reply. Mail could take months because ships sank or addresses changed, so sometimes complete silence was expected. Public executions were live events. They were announced, they were planned, people put them on their calendar. It was very civic. And one of my favorites, people used to keep their best clothes for death. You were often buried in your nicest thing that you owned, not something you wore in life. So there you go. I'd love to know your feedback. Is this something that you would like to see me keep doing, of these sort of kind of easier form videos? I'm probably going to continue to pepper them in, but I would like to hear your feedback regardless. That being said, I would also be interested to know if you have any topic suggestions, whether it's for one of these easier form videos here, or if it's something for the greater of New Hampshire or whatever. I'm always open to some new comments, new ideas, so please comment down below. Thanks.